Alright, so now we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to come up with the equation. We can even graph based on the information we've been given. So we've been given the foci at 3, 0 and negative 3, 0, and the transverse axis, which has a distance of 4. Now we can think of this kind of like the major axis. It's vertex to vertex. So that's going to be basically those 2 points where the hyperbola shoots off. That's where that's going to be found. So if I start to think about this sketch, if I have a focus at 3, 0, so 1, 2, 3, and then negative 3, 0, those are my foci. That means the center is at the origin. And then if I have a transverse axis with a length of 4, that means half of that is going to be the distance from the center to the vertex. So that, let's see if we can get this to stay in focus, is going to be where my hyperbola actually shoots off of. This is my vertex, this is my focus. So it's a little different from an ellipse in that the focus falls outside of the vertex. So focus, vertex. Then I also need to recognize that a squared plus b squared is c squared. So for an ellipse it was subtraction, for a hyperbola it's addition. I always remember it as being the opposite of the sign in between whatever I'm using. So for hyperbola it's subtraction, that means it's a squared plus b squared for the foci equation. A is going to be 2, so that means that half of my transverse axis was 2, so 2 squared. We don't know b squared, we don't know how much we go up vertically. C is going to be 3, so we've got 9. If I subtract 4, that tells me b squared is 5. And I'm just going to leave it there because we're going to need b squared in my equation, so I'm not even going to square root it. My center is 0, 0, so that's going to be either x squared followed by y squared or y squared followed by x squared. But because my vertex falls on the x-axis, that means x comes first. So you do have to pay attention. You can't just go through and automatically put x first. Then I know that b squared is 5. Well, a is always first in a hyperbola, so that means this has to be 5. And then a squared is the distance from the center to the vertex, so that's a, which is 2, so that means we get 4. So if we were to complete this graph, we would then go up radical 5, which is 2 point something, down radical 5, draw in my box, connecting, draw my asymptotes, and then my hyperbolas. And that would be your final graph, final equation, final everything.